Fight fans, buckle up. The MMA world is buzzing louder than ever. The talk of the moment? A clash between Islam Makhachev and Khamzat. These two names dominate headlines, forums, and podcasts. Islam is the lightweight king, a champion defined by control, patience, and suffocating grappling. Hamzat is the storm, unpredictable, explosive, and terrifyingly powerful. When Islam casually admitted he'd be open to fighting Hamzat one day, the community exploded. Suddenly, a fantasy fight turned into a global obsession. Add old rivalries, shocking sparring stories, bold analyst takes, and a flood of fan reactions, and this matchup isn't just hype, it's theater. If it ever happens, it could change the sport forever. Islam Makhachev's style is calm, deliberate, and efficient. So when he quietly said he'd be ready to fight Khamzat in the future, the MMA world leaned in. Within hours, clips of the comments spread across social media. Analysts dissected his tone. Fans wrote essays comparing Islam's suffocating grappling to Hamzat's ferocity. YouTube channels pumped out breakdowns. Podcasts dropped instant reactions. Some said Islam's technical mastery would smother Hamzat's chaos. Others countered that Hamzat's size and aggression would overwhelm Islam before the fight even began. The comment wasn't just a line in an interview, it became the spark that reignited one of MMA's most fascinating debates. This story didn't start in 2024, its roots stretch back to a scuffle years ago. At a UFC event, Hamzat clashed with Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Khabib's cousin. Tempers flared, words flew, and fists followed. Security rushed in to break it up, but the moment was already burned into fans' minds. For many, it symbolized a crack between Hamzat and the Dagestani camp. Even though Khabib downplayed the incident later, the memory stuck. Every time Hamzat's name appears near Team Khabib, fans bring up that clip. To them, Islam versus Hamzat isn't just a dream fight. It's the continuation of unfinished business between two powerful camps. That single scuffle gave the rivalry history, and history makes fights matter. Then came Josh Thompson, Khabib's longtime teammate and respected analyst, who added fuel to the fire. Speaking on his podcast, he dismissed the idea of Islam going down to welterweight, pointing out his history of brutal weight cuts. Instead, he suggested flipping the script. Hamzat should move up. Not to welterweight, not even staying at middleweight, but all the way to light heavyweight or heavyweight. His reasoning shocked fans. According to Thompson, those bigger divisions lack strong wrestling. Many heavyweights rely on striking and sheer size. Hamzat, with his grappling background and relentless pace, could dominate divisions where opponents aren't used to being pressured that way. The idea of Hamzat tossing around 205-pounders or even heavyweights captured imaginations. Some laughed it off as fantasy. Others argued it might be Hamzat's true destiny. Overnight, the conversation wasn't just about Islam versus Hamzat, it was about Hamzat versus everyone. As if the debate wasn't fiery enough, Kamil Gadzhiev, a respected voice in Russian MMA and matchmaker for Eagle FC, dropped a revelation that shook the sport. He claimed he personally witnessed Khabib Nurmagomedov and Hamzat-Chimaev grapple in Dubai. The gym was packed with Dagestani fighters. At first, Hamzat used his size to take control from the top, but Khabib was patient. From the bottom, he adjusted, worked angles, and then, classic Khabib, snapped on a triangle choke. Hamzat tapped. Gadziev's takeaway was blunt. If Khabib could do it undersized, Islam could replicate it under UFC lights. The community exploded. Some fans dismissed it. Sparring is just sparring. Others swore it proved Islam's path to victory. Memes flooded Twitter. Forums turned into battlegrounds. For the first time, fans felt they had evidence. The debate wasn't just hypothetical anymore. It had receipts. So how would it look in the cage? On paper, it's a contrast of extremes. Islam is quicksand, patient, suffocating, and methodical. Once he takes hold, opponents only sink deeper. He makes them work, drains their energy, and finishes with precision. Hamzat is the hurricane, explosive, fast, and overwhelming from the very first second. He thrives on chaos, breaking fighters mentally before they even realize what's happening. Analysts are split. Some believe Islam's composure would neutralize Hamzat once the early storm faded. Others insist Hamzat's size and intensity would bulldoze Islam before control even came into play. Fans argue fiercely online, often with the passion of people defending more than just fighters. They're defending legacies. And hanging over it all is UFC matchmaking. Do they risk this clash now, knowing one star must fall? Or wait until it's so big the sport can't ignore it? Either way, the buzz is unstoppable. While Islam and Hamzat dominate the spotlight, another star is at a turning point. Sean O'Malley, one of the UFC's biggest draws, faces questions after consecutive losses to Merab Dvalishvili. Rumors swirled about him moving up to featherweight. O'Malley pushed back, saying he still has business at bantamweight. He admitted weight cuts are rough, but insisted he's managing. Still, doubt lingers. Aljamain Sterling made the move and thrived. Corey Sandhagen looms as a dream opponent fans have craved for years. O'Malley is at a crossroads. Stay at 135, risk fading against killers and defend his brand? Or move to 145 and try to reinvent himself? His dilemma highlights MMA's brutal reality. Stardom is fragile, and momentum can disappear overnight. Meanwhile, heavyweights trade words as fiercely as punches. Ciryl Gane's outspoken coach, Fernand Lopez, attacked Tom Aspinall, calling him a big mouth who spreads misinformation. Aspinall didn't stay silent. He dismissed Lopez's words as irrelevant and then turned his fire on Gane. He claimed Gane should have lost to Alexander Volkov, accusing judges of bailing him out. Then he dismissed all Jon Jones talk, telling fans to forget about Jones and focus on the fight at hand. Aspinall promised destruction. Fans devoured it. Clips went viral, forums lit up, and the anticipation for Aspinall versus Gane skyrocketed. For Aspinall, pressure isn't a weakness, it's his fuel. He thrives on high stakes, and he says this fight will showcase the most dangerous version of himself. With both camps throwing verbal punches, heavyweight feels alive again. What connects all these threads is drama. Islam versus Hamzat is more than a fight. It's a clash of national pride, fighting philosophies and legacies. Sean O'Malley's struggle shows how thin the line is between superstardom and decline. Aspinall versus Gane demonstrates how rivalries fuel entire divisions. This is what MMA thrives on, not just the fights themselves, but the stories. Every rumor, every bold analyst claim, every leaked sparring tale becomes part of the theater. Fans don't just watch, they debate, they argue, they pick sides. They invest emotionally. Islam versus Hamzat has become the perfect example. Even without a date, even without a contract, it already feels legendary. So where does it all lead? As of now, Islam Makhachev and Khamzat-Chimaev aren't booked against each other. The UFC might hold it back, waiting for the perfect time. Maybe it never happens. But the speculation is a story of its own. From the Abu Bakr scuffle years ago, to sparring tales in Dubai, to Josh Thompson's heavyweight prophecy, the saga has become bigger than belts or rankings. If the UFC finally locks it in, it won't just be another fight. It will be the collision of eras, a clash of patience and chaos, a test of legacies. It could redefine divisions. Until then, every rumor, every quote, every insider story is gasoline on the fire. And if the day comes when the cage door closes and Islam Makhachev stands across from Khamzat-Chimaev, one thing is certain: the MMA world won't just watch, it will erupt.